Alright, what's up y'all? Willie here, and today we're going to cover sorcery healing. Now I'm going to show you 3 different loadouts that I use. One is going to be specifically just for the raids. One is going to be for the alerts. And then one is going to be for open world bounties. So the one that you're looking at right now, let's take a look at the loadout. This is the raid heal. So we have Rejuvenate. This is our single heal. It's your priority. So it's a half second to do it, so it will instantly heal you and the most injured person. So you got one of those oh crap moments. That's where it comes in handy. This is your ritualistic word. This is a 4-person heal. Well, 3 really. It's you and 3 additional people. Okay. We will kind of touch on that a little bit more, but these 2 are the ones you're really going to be using a lot as far as primarily healing on the fly. But these 2 right here, Shard of Life and Circle of Protection, these are going to be your main heals over time. Okay, so Shard of Life, I really like Shard of Life. This one does a little bit of damage. It's a damage over time, but it's also a heal over time. The unique thing about Shard of Life is that it will heal near the target, it says, but it has a pretty big range, okay? So a lot of DPS like to get up close and personal. The tank, of course, has to be up close and personal. This really comes in handy for that heal over time, okay? So when you drop it, we've used it in DPS. You see the little bomb drop. I'll kind of show you here. Right? It's popping off. So it will just heal you for a few seconds. It's got a pretty quick cooldown, so the best thing to do is to circulate it, or rotate it, if you will, with your Circle of Protection. Okay, and that's going to be your primary heal over time. Now this is a 12-second cooldown, meaning once I cast it, I have to wait 12 seconds till it's ready again. Okay, whereas this one, Shard of Life, is a 6-second cooldown. So how I normally like to do it when I'm running the raid, if it's a really tight situation, you can drop them both at the same time. Otherwise, when you're running through your clearing ads, I go with Shard of Life, then I cast Circle of Protection, and then I cast Shard of Life again when Circle of Protection is about halfway. That way, right before it comes off a cooldown, I can drop Shard of Life again. Right? Let's get rid of this guy. Okay, so that's how I rotate my heals over time. Shard of Life, Circle of Protection. Once it gets about halfway on Circle of Protection, Shard of Life again. And every so often, in between that, you'll be popping Ritualistic Word. The good thing about Ritualistic Word is that it will pretty much get you out of anything. It will clip out of any power. Also, if you're calling in an ally or a trinket, you can just clip out of it with Ritualistic Word. Okay, once you get the hang of it, it's not too difficult. You just get your timing right. That's it. So, Circle Protection and Shard of Life are your main 2 powers that you're going to be using to heal. Other than that, you're going to be spamming this occasionally. You won't really use the primary heal too much, the priority one, Rejuvenate. You'll mainly be using these 2, and every so often this one. This one will come into play, like I said, in those oh crap moments when somebody's really on the verge of dying. So, you'll notice I'm running Metabolic Boost, right? And let's cover that again, because I'm super speed, that's why I'm running Metabolic Boost. I also have Pheromone Bloom. Okay, now these are really short supercharges. They fill up very quickly. It's just a way for me to spam Eye of Gemini, which I have here. Okay. Um, we'll cover the artifacts in a minute. But if you were running something like the transformation card, which if you're new to healing, or you just don't want to run Eye of Gemini, then I would go with transformation card. You could also put Clarion in there if you wanted. If that was the case, then you would be running Arbiter of Destiny. You just got to make sure that you set your Arbiter of Destiny up. What that does is it allows you to spam all of these here. It allows you to spam these powers very, very quickly, because Sorcery does not have an 8-man heal except for Invocation of Renewal. This is a 15-second cooldown, so it's very rare you will actually use this. This is in those moments when the one shot is coming, you see people standing in the AoE that's about to go off, or just one of those group wipes, right? Like somebody doesn't block on the Perpetua beam right away, and it starts chipping away at the group's health. That's when you will pop this in those situations. Usually I watch for the AoEs. Make sure that everybody's getting out of the red area. If I notice they're not going to get out in time, then we go ahead and we pop that. It leaves us stationary up in the air for a moment, but it's just big, big heals, okay? Now, this is the raid heal. Like I said, this is the raid heal. I'm going to go ahead and show you the artifacts, and then we'll start covering the tactical mods, and then we'll go into the different loadouts that I use. So, always Page of Destiny, always Purple Healing Ray, Page of Destiny, stacks Revivify. So, when a group heal heals a player above 40% health, it places a stack of Revivify on them. Max up to 10 stacks for 30 seconds and refreshes total duration of existing stacks. If an affected player drops below 40% health, Revivify will be triggered, expending all stacks and healing for amount based on Revivify stacks. Also increases healing from the group heal by 20% for targets below 40%. So what does that mean? It seems pretty straightforward, but if you're a little confused, basically every time I'm popping this group heal, right, it's going to stack on somebody. It has a chance to stack on somebody. So if that group shot, that one shot, a big AoE hits and your health drops below 50%, it automatically kicks in for you and it will heal back whoever took that damage. So think of it as a reserve heal, so to speak. It's already there. You've already done that healing. It's just lying in wait. So as long as you're spamming this like you should be, once you get your rotation down, for me, Shroud of Life, Circle Protection, drop one of these, Shroud of Life, drop one of these, drop them again, and that's it. So every time you spam this, it will just stack, right? So it's a reserve heal. The healing's done, you've been doing it, so if somebody gets hit really hard and they're about to die, it'll kick in and save their life. It'll save your life. Okay? Now the next thing we're going to look at is the Purple Healing Ray. So healing charges your Purple Healing Ray up to, and then I'll give you the numbers there, 5554 times your total restoration with purple light. Once charged, your next priority heal or group heal gain new benefits and expend all purple light. So if you ever see a healer popping off, throwing heals, and you see that glowing purple light go around them, that's what that is. That's kicking in. Alright. So what does it do? You and your heal target gain a shield equal to 2 times your restoration, which absorbs 10, 10, 20, 20% of incoming damage for 8 seconds. Resets cooldown of priority heal and group heal and restores 20% power. So that's the really neat thing. And this is what I was talking about when I said we would get into Invocation of Renewal. So you don't really need to worry too much about resetting Rejuvenate. It's a half-second cost. It's not a big deal. You can sit here and spam it all day long. Right? What's important is that it has a chance to reset Invocation of Renewal. So basically, I'll cast Invocation of Renewal, I'll cast something else, and Invocation of Renewal automatically resets, it's refreshed, it's ready to go. So in an instance where I'm Sorcery and I don't have an 8-man heal, being able to hit that 3-man group heal back to back comes in handy. Right? That's why we want to get our artifact up. That's why you want them to get at least to 160 so you can really get the benefits. Because I can tell you, these two artifacts right here, they're great for healing. They're perfect. They're always going to be my mandatory recommendations. But the difference between a 140 Page of Destiny and a 140 Purple Healing Ray compared to a 160, it's night and day. You can really tell the difference, okay? Now, again, Eye of Gemini, my preference. I think we're all familiar with Eye of Gemini, so I'm not going to go ahead and read it. But if you didn't want to run Eye of Gemini, Transformation card. Because you cannot beat those crits. The crits are everything. And it doubles as a DPS artifact. That's why I like running Eye of Gemini. That's why I like running Transformation card. They double as a DPS and a healer artifact, or really any role. Tank, troll, healer. They're good for all roles. They're universal. Doesn't matter. That's why I always recommend running one of those. One less artifact you have to worry about. However, if you didn't want to run that one, you could go with Orb of Orion. It's just an extra buff to your priority heal. It gives you a little specter that'll keep spamming that priority heal. So it is a good artifact. It's just very, very power costly. So not my first recommendation, okay? Clarion, I did use it for a while. Not my preference because I don't really use my weapon that much as I would like to, because often when you're healing you don't have the time. You just don't. Like, if you don't have the skill points, you don't have the artifacts, and even if you do, you just don't have the time to pop off weapon combos all the time. That's why you see a lot of healers that are good or great healers usually run weapon mastery, and they're running brawling martial arts. So it's rare that you're going to see a healer actually spamming weapons and doing damage like that, because they're going to be focused on healing, because it's just, you get busy healing. So again, those are my preference, okay? Now, how do you spec? Hybrid is the preference. You could go super powered. I've healed super powered with sorcery. And honestly, like I said, if you don't use your weapon a lot, it would make sense. You get a 25% power regeneration on it. You do get 10% power, but why I choose to stick with hybrid is I want the 5% restoration. Currently, my restoration in the gear that I have right now, well, let me get out of here. I'll show you in a little bit. Now you can see it. It's got the quote-unquote end-game buff here. But, okay, we're going to go ahead and talk about the alert loadout. So it's pretty much going to be the same here. Now, because I am running Eye of Gemini, what I normally do is I run these two and I spam them consecutively. I'll let this one go, and then I'll let this one go. Once, kind of like I do the Shard of Life and Circle of Protection. Let it go about halfway, spam the next one. Once you get your artifact up to 160, 180, you really start to see the regeneration on your supercharge. So definitely comes in handy. But if you're not running Eye of Gemini, like I said, then you would put on Boon of Souls. If you don't need a big 8-man heal, Boon of Souls is absolutely fine. And if you wanted to run the Supercharge, you can run Arbiter of Destiny. Okay? Um, these right here, sorry, these right here, these are the main healer loadouts for the alert that I would recommend. Last spot, your choice, really. Like I said, it's a preference. It's your choice what you want to put on there. I don't really like Soulwell in raids. I don't want to use it in alert because I feel that spot could be used best somewhere else. But really quickly before we move on, this is the alert loadout. Like I said, I run these two supercharges. So here's what it looks like without the loadout screen up. Okay. And the last one, what I use for open world. When I'm doing bounties, if I'm not in a group and I'm just out here trying to keep people alive so that we can get the bounty done, I take off ritualistic word and I put transmutation in its place. Why do I use transmutation over ritualistic word? Because if they're not immediately in my group, if we're not party together, ritualistic word does absolutely nothing for them. They don't get any heals out of it. My goal is to keep the random people around me alive, so transmutation. Because what does it do? It deals reduced damage, but it heals allies near the target. So it does hit very nice, right? Just, yeah. It knocks him down, it hits him with the big blast, but it also drops healing. So as soon as I hit something, bam, whoever's standing next to it gets healed. Bam, they get healed. Shard of Life, we stick with Shard of Life because they're going to get heals. Same way, it hits the target, they get heals. Alright, Circle of Protection, they're going to get heals. I do keep Rejuvenate on just for myself. These guys. I guess I was standing too close. Alright, so I do keep Rejuvenate on just for myself so that I don't die, because I may be pulling aggro if there's not a tank. And I do sometimes run Soulwell for open world bounties because it does drop healing and it will heal anybody around me. So while it's not the best heals over time, it's small heals over time. They're still contributing. So if we drop Soulwell, Circle of Protection, Shard of Life, that's a fair amount of healing that's going to be popping off consistently. We don't need big heals because we're in the open world and we're just trying to keep random people alive. And so this works best. I don't run a supercharge when I run open world bounties. I put Soul Bolt on. Alright, because what does Soul Bolt do? I think we can guess by now. Deals reduced damage but heals allies near the target. Right, so it's spammable. It is spammable. Check it out. And it hits big. Boy, does it hit big. You saw that. That 43,000 crit heal. Alright, so let's check it out. And it hits an AoE. Alright. And that is the open world loadout that I use to keep randoms alive so that we can get the bounties done. Because basically, this is the most effective that I've found for sorcery when I'm in the open world where I want to be able to heal the people around me, because 5 of these powers will heal everybody. And I don't need to be directly in the group with them to give them those heals. That's a group heal when I hit them. That's a group heal, heal over time. That's a group heal, heal over time. That's a group heal, heal over time. And that's a group heal, direct hit, very quick. When we're doing bounties, I literally just drop my heals over time. And I just spam this over and over and over, because every time it hits, it deals a little bit of damage, but it hits big for the heals, and it's instant. And if it gets really hairy, then I throw that out, because that is a very big heal as well, and it's instant as soon as it hits. So anyways, guys, I realized I haven't done a healer video yet, so I wanted to go ahead and cover my sorcery loadouts that I use, that I have a lot of fun with sorcery with. I did try to do the Watcher, it's not my thing. So this is what I use. These are the artifacts. As far as the tactical mods, we got regenerative shielding on the hands. So if you are running Boon of Souls for that shield on the 4-man, it helps, I guess. As always, we're running Tumbling Master. I don't have anything in the leg socket. We're running power efficiency. Superpowers use 5% less power. Like I mentioned in the DPS video, we do keep accelerated ritualistic word in the back socket. I just keep escalating might on the neck because it's an OP item, and again, don't feel like switching out the tac mods over and over. That's a lot of work. I do have supercharged metabolic boost, grants 2.5% supercharged back when you use super speed metabolic boost. And I think if you're acrobats, it's perfect poise. Or you can just get pheromone bloom out of the iconic powers. So I'll show you where you get them really quickly. Pheromone bloom and your iconic powers. So basically, this just knocks enemies down. It throws out a damage over time and a heal over time, and it's good heal over time. Super speed, where you get the metabolic boost right here. So you would just put a skill point here, here, and here. Weapons, you can get whatever you want. I accidentally bought martial arts. I meant to buy brawling, because I'm dumb. But we still make it work, right? So we can still get the Shuriken Storm. Other than that, like I said, you just got to put your heal points, stat points. It's late, I'm tired, I couldn't think. So, hybrid, we want to get our critical healing chance, critical healing magnitude. Always, I don't care if you don't have a lot of skill points. If you only have 100 skill points, please fill out your criticals. Don't try to split them up. Don't put 10 here, 5 here, and then drop the rest into restoration. You're hindering yourself. Please fill out all of your criticals. I don't care how many skill points you have. Always fill out your criticals. So, like I said, you want to fill these out. You need 60 skill points for that. Put whatever you have in a restoration after that. Stack your restoration. That's your main stat as a healer, right? You could put dominance. Dominance would come in handy for your Boon of Souls, because dominance strengthens your shield as a healer. So for a water healer, I would probably recommend going with dominance as your secondary stat once you've filled out your restoration. However, I only have the one shield and I only use it occasionally, so I don't spec into it. I don't need it, because I always run an Omega compound, and I will always run the soda for whatever role I am. So if I'm playing healer, I'm gonna use a Nutri-Soda. If I'm playing tank, I'm gonna use a Bulldozer Soda. If I'm running DPS, I'm gonna use a Nitro Soda, right? So I choose to put my leftover into Might and Power, just so I can have that extra power, so that my bar doesn't dwindle away. Just like I put the tac mod in my chest for 5% less power. It does help, especially when I have 59 skill points into it, right? Um, Anyways, guys, that's what I got for you today. I'm sure this video is going to be crazy long because I decided to do all 3 loadouts in one video. I could have just broke them up, but we're just going to go ahead and cover everything here. So, anyways, guys, that's what I got for you today. If you're new to the channel, consider sticking around. Consider giving me a like, maybe a subscribe. Really helps me out when you guys like the videos. We get a lot of action in the comments and on the views, and I appreciate that. And if you're a returning viewer, as always, I really appreciate you guys tuning in, interacting with me, starting discussions. Again, it really helps me a lot, and it gives me a reason to keep making these videos. Makes me feel like people are actually watching it. So, thank you for giving me some of your time. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you guys next time. Wooly out.